Awesome. Cool. Thank you everybody for coming to this event. Yeah, people are gonna be funneling in, so sorry about that little dinging sound. But yeah, these are all the amazing orgs that came today. So thank you guys so much for being part of it. My name is Rithik, by the way. I am the external VP for Venture Strategy Solutions. That was the second to last one. But the reason why we wanted to hold this event is for you guys to meet some of the orgs on campus, have some time to network with them, but also just see like kind of where your spot would be and like why we're all different. And hopefully you get a little bit more insight. This is a really quick 1 hour event. So with that being said, all of the orgs should have a little bit of an extension at the end of their name. So feel free to individually DM them using Zoom or just ask questions in general in the Zoom chat. We'll all try our best to answer them. I think we all have multiple representatives from every org as well. So in terms of how this is gonna go, we're gonna start off with a quick overview. I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit about business, the business org from my perspective, as well as I think why it's really cool to be able to join one. Then we're going to go into individual organizations. They're going to talk about their experiences, a little bit about what they are, their timeline for recruiting, and answer like 1 or 2 questions that are going to be the same across all the orgs. And lastly, we're going to have a networking session. So we're going to have a Zoom account, a Zoom spreadsheet of Zooms, and you guys can basically go to whichever Zoom link you like to meet these orgs. Also, let me attach the deck for you guys to view as well. Awesome. So, quick introduction to Berkeley's business community. The first thing I want to say is you do not have to be a business major to join. You do not have to be a certain ethnicity, certain sex, anything. Business is very open to everybody. Regardless of what you're majoring in, I can give an example. I'm an EECS major. Do not need to be a business major to be part of this community. It's really important to be able to gain a lot of analytical and critical thinking skills that can be really applicable anywhere. I think personally, I've been able to learn a lot from like decking, something which presentations are literally in every field you go into. So it doesn't hurt to have those skills. That's professional growth. Moving on to networking. There's years of alums. Every single org here has their like whole network of alums, of resources, and these are all really valuable for you to have, not only just in college, moving forward. After college, you never know, somebody might be in somebody might be in BC, and you never know that that could be a huge advantage for you to have when you're applying to your org, applying to a company or applying for a job. Lastly is community. Coming into college, I know probably have a lot of freshmen, probably a lot of transfers. Coming into college is scary. I think like, especially with this virtual semester, I'm so sorry that you guys have to do that. And it's really difficult. But being part of a community like this, you're able to really make sure that you have people who support you through your wins and through your losses. And these relationships definitely last beyond college. Personally, I can say it's been a huge support system for myself, and I know everybody here can speak to them for their specific organizations as well. And that's kind of my intro for business in general. So now we're going to kind of dive into each org individually. Each of them will have about 3 minutes to talk about their orgs. But again, please feel free to just send a message in the general chat if you have any additional questions / you have any clarifications. And I'll keep adding the, I'll add the deck again for people who just joined. In terms of the panel questioning, these are the 2 questions that we kind of want every org to make sure it's included in their little pitch. Making sure that, 1, we're being clear about why our organization is set apart, as well as how an applicant can really succeed in your recruitment process, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are interested in as well. Awesome. So with that, I will pass it off to 180. And yeah, let me know when you want to go to the next slide.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. My name is Phaedra Sanson, and I'm the president of 180 Degrees Consulting.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria, and I am the Director of Public Affairs. What makes 180 Degrees Consulting unique is that we're part of the world's largest student consultancy for the social sector, and all of our projects are centered around social impact. So we're actually founded in Australia. We're currently operating in over 30 countries with over 150 branches, and it's super nice professionally and personally to be connected to that global network. And we also take social impact to heart. With every single project, we are always trying to work towards a more sustainable and a more equitable society. And at Berkeley, we've made a name for ourselves as trusted advisors to local organizations, national and global nonprofits, and the corporate social responsibility divisions of Fortune 500 companies. We are constantly learning. We're always working with people who have committed decades of their lives to social justice work, which is incredibly special. And of course, we take care of one another. I've been in this org since my first semester freshman year, and I'm a rising senior, so the hashtag 180fam is super, super near and dear to my heart. We do everything from PowerPoint nights to picnics on the Glade. There's always someone to grab late night boba with. Pedro was actually the one to convince me during one of our PowerPoint nights that cereal is actually a kind of soup, so you should definitely hit him up about that argument because he's very passionate about it. And you can also see where we go. We have a big presence in consulting, of course, but everywhere from law school to tech to med school. Our alumni from our branch and of course our global network is really, really strong across sectors. And we can go to the next slide.
So in regards to our recruitment process itself, we just wanted to highlight a few important dates. So August 31st will be our first info session, followed by September 1st with our second one. And then our application is due on September 4th. And in regard to the second question of the panel, so in regard to what kind of applicant will stand out within our applicant pool, we're really looking for demonstrated passion for the social sector and a lot of potential within our candidates. And I think the point that Ritik made in the beginning of the presentation, that we're really open to all majors, really stands true to 180 as well. I think we're welcoming of all majors, regardless of it being in business or not. So I think like that sums it up pretty well. Thank you everyone for joining again, and thank you so much for the opportunity of presenting.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks to VSS for putting this together. My name is Ram Palinati, and I'm the president of Berkeley Business Society. And we also have Mulan here, who's our IVP, our internal vice president. But on a high level, BBS is a Haas-sponsored student-run strategy consulting group. But we like to think of ourselves as having three main aspects to our organization. The first being projects, which to me is definitely our biggest differentiator compared to other organizations within the business community. The reason being is at Cal, you'll notice that most business organizations kind of focus on, particular niches within, a broader business spectrum, whether that be marketing and design or social sector consulting or, tech and startups. But Berkeley Business Society, through our 5 concentrations you see on the left, corporate finance, marketing, nonprofit, and startup, we do a little bit of both, a little bit of everything. And the reason being is because we believe that having that diversity in your professional experience is what makes us all better. And for someone like myself who didn't know what I wanted to do long term coming into college, Berkeley Business Society was a great place for me to find different opportunities, try different things, and learn more about what I wanted to do in my professional career. Also sponsored by Goldman Sachs, Accenture, and Berkeley Haas, along with others, and that gets you lots of interesting opportunities that a lot of other students at Cal might not have, right? And so that kind of leads me into professional development. And so our alumni go on to work at some of the world's greatest tech, consulting, and banking firms, along with those grad schools you see there. But it's a lot of it is in part due to our cohort program, which is in your first semester in BBS, you'll go through an intensive professional development workshops throughout the whole semester, and you'll learn more about what it takes to be successful in your careers and in your projects. But my personal favorite part of BBS is obviously the social aspect to it, and you can see pictures from some of the events we do. We do Napa trips. We've traveled around the world for our projects. And ultimately, it's just a great family to be a part of. And we'd love for all of you to join our family. And next, I'm going to hand it all over to Mulan, who can talk more about our application process.
Oh, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. Yeah, so about the question, what can applicants do to stand out? There's basically 2 things. So the first one is we care a lot about who you are genuinely as a person. So get to know our members, talk to us, and show us who you are, because we're recruiting people, not only skills. And the second thing is that we want to make sure that why do you specifically want to choose BBS? Why is that a good fit for you? And we want to see that as well, because there are so many business orgs. So given that like the answer on how you can do both of these is to attend as many events as you can, just to make sure that you can talk to all of us. As you can see here, we have been tabling since Wednesday up until next Friday, September 4th, which is when our application is due. And then before that, we also have 3 events, which is the info session, case workshop, and also diversity night, where you'll have a chance to not only talk to a bunch of our members, but also get some advice on like the interview process and also just like knowing more about our 3 pillars.
Awesome. We'll go to the next one then, BC.
Cool. Hey everyone. Hope everyone's really excited about the fall and getting settled in. I'm Beatrice and I'm a senior advisor for BC, and really excited to kind of talk about BC and our recruitment process. So to provide a little context, BC was founded about 25 years ago with a goal to bring together the brightest minds at Cal and to solve our clients' problems. And we do have an unrestricted mandate, which essentially means that we take on an industry agnostic approach when sourcing projects. And so because of that, we don't really have specific concentrations. And therefore, I think what's really cool is that we are able to kind of ensure that our members receive kind of like a diversity of work and industry experiences. For example, like I personally have worked in like solar, supply chain and software, a nonprofit, as well as in the big pharma space. And in terms of our community, I think we don't really have a specific profile or like specific thing that we're looking for. Everyone's really different and unique in their own way, be it like, you know, their majors, backgrounds, or even like interests and passions. And I think that's really, really fun about BC is that everybody's just different and you get to know different people. And I guess like beyond that, I think like what I think makes BC stand out among anything else would be kind of like that sense of community. And, you know, like when I joined, what was really cool for me and I thought was unlike any other clubs is that, you know, everyone's really committed in the club, and like seniors are invested and enthusiastic about like socials or like, you know, like contributing to the club as much as like our newbies. So really, really excited to kind of meet everyone at our info sessions and like other events. And with that, I can kind of like pass it on to Ben, who would talk about the recruitment timeline.
Cool, thanks Beatrice. So my name is Ben, I'm the president of BC. I'd like to talk a little bit about our recruitment timeline. So as you can see from the top, we've already started tabling virtually from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. PST. Next week, we'll have our actual events, starting with our info session next Tuesday, followed by a women's event, which is an event for anyone who identifies themselves as a female. We also have info session 2, which is the exact same as info session 1. So feel free just to pick whichever one fits best in your schedule. We then have a case workshop the Friday afterwards, and our application deadline is actually next Saturday at noon. And so to answer a little bit about kind of what an applicant can do to stand out, I think the first thing to really concentrate on is when you're applying to really focus on your essays. Your resume and stuff is already set, but what you can change is your essay. And we can obviously tell if you wrote your essay the night before or an hour before it was due. From someone who actually carefully thought about the question and things like that. I also highly recommend attending our info session and case workshops so you can learn a little bit more about BC specifically, and that way you can understand more of what we are about. And if you need any more information, feel free to check out our website at bc.berkeley.edu.
Awesome. Let's go to the next one. CYC.
Hi everyone, my name is Rafael Luis Tolosa. I'm currently the president of CYC and a rising third year here at UC Berkeley. So just to start off, CYC is UC Berkeley's only nationally established pro bono consulting group, and we focus our efforts on serving struggling minority-owned small businesses, nonprofits, and startups in the San Francisco Bay Area. So to answer the first question about how CYC is a bit different than all of these other amazing organizations is that we truly stick to our pro bono mission throughout everything that we do in the organization. So for client recruitment, for instance, 65% of next semester's clients are run and owned by Black women. And this past summer, in just 3 weeks, out of the 35 members in our club, we raised over $15,000 for the National Urban League, which is a civil rights organization in New York City. We partnered with Visa and they gave us a donation match, so that was amplified even further. In addition, our services as a pro bono club are free, and so members of our club really do care about social impact work and making sure that we're making a real change in companies where we are able to meet the CEOs firsthand. In addition, we have one of the largest alumni networks of any consulting group on campus. We are the alpha chapter of nearly 25 chapters nationwide. And so we have campus organizations at Cornell and Columbia to UT Austin and even UCLA. So when someone from CYC across the nation sees you on LinkedIn and sees that you have a CYC member organization on your page, they'll automatically say that that's another connection. So that's another really beneficial part about being part of CYC. In addition, we are one of a few clubs that has just simply a resume drop for our application. Nothing else, nothing more. We just have a resume drop. And so from there, I guess Ria can take it to emphasize what we want to see in our applicants moving forward.
Hi everyone, I'm Ria. I'm the VP of Engagement this semester for CYC. To address the question of what applicants can do to stand out, as Raf said, we are only requesting a resume for our application, nothing else. And so to really stand out, be sure that on your resume you highlight community service and anything you've done in the past, because we are driven by community service and our small business impact. Additionally, we really highly suggest that you attend our info session because we're not asking for essays. Info sessions are a really great way to show that you genuinely care and want to consult your community. In terms of our recruitment timeline, next week we have our first 2 info sessions on Monday and Wednesday respectively at 8 p.m. The Zoom link is on our Facebook, and then our application deadline will be Friday at noon. And you can reach that at cycberkeley.org/takeaction. And then after that, we begin our interview rounds. You can also check us out on our Instagram at CYC Berkeley and check out our Facebook Fall Recruitment page.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And ImagiCal?
Hey guys, my name is Tyler and I am the president of ImagiCal, and I'm joined by our VP of Projects, Danny Haw. So what is ImagiCal? ImagiCal is UC Berkeley's Haw-sponsored award-winning creative strategy agency, and we live at the intersection between business and creativity. How so? Well, we engage in a diversity of real-world projects, from creative consulting projects to advertising competitions to marketing efforts and professional development. So whether that's applying design skills to create a campaign for our yearly NSAC competition, or that's using research and analytics to help with our brand strategy projects, we always aim to bridge the gap between business and creativity with everything that we do. And to do so, we pride ourselves in our diverse community of people, ranging from different backgrounds, majors, and passions. This allows us to work cross-functionally across our 5 departments in a fun and effective way. So next, I'll hand it over to Danny to talk a little bit more about our values and recruitment timeline. Next slide, please.
Thanks, Tyler. So at ImagiCal, we have 4 overarching values driving the work we do, our people, and the clients we work with. So firstly, ImagiCal prides ourselves in being creative, versatile individuals. At ImagiCal, we aim to build leaders that believes in the importance of creativity in the business world. And secondly, ImagiCal builds strength through diversity. With over 40 years of experience, we know that creativity is driven by diversity. And thirdly, many voices, one vision. Although our members come from many different paths, we are all brought together because at ImagiCal, we want not only to be leaders, but change makers, and change makers that don't leave anyone unheard. Lastly, no matter what the situation is, we make sure you're having lots of fun, not only through our unique work, but our members are always finding joy in the work they do and the people they're working with. So Tyler, what makes ImagiCal a unique org in the business community?
Thanks, Danny. One thing that sets us apart is that we are actually established in 1980, making us one of the oldest business clubs on campus. This also means that we have an alumni network reaching back to around 40 years across many different industries and locations. This gives us our members a unique network of people in many different industries to not only connect with, but also to learn from as well. Danny, how can an applicant stand out in our recruitment process?
Sure. So 2 things. First, I recommend talking to our ImagiCal members through our info sessions and any events held by ImagiCal. As such a people-driven organization, there's a lot to unpack further than what exists on our website. Hear their stories and converse. And I say if you can get good conversations going, it's a pretty good indicator. And then secondly, be authentically you. No one in ImagiCal is like each other. From YouTubers to bloggers to sneakerheads, our members are always pursuing what they want and are all their own boss. So spend some time thinking about your personal story and what your passions are. And I'd say if you can express that in a compelling way, you're set up for success. So lastly, here's a snapshot of our recruiting timeline. Our applications are currently live, and our first info session is next Thursday. And we hope you come and reimagine business with ImagiCal.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And LBSA?
Hi, all. So I'm Magali. I'm the Executive Administrator for LBSA, and I have my friend here, Sienna Gutierrez, who is the Director of Marketing. So just to give a little background on what LBSA is, so we were founded in 1998 by 3 amazing individuals who saw a lack of diversity in business, and so they came up with this amazing organization. And fast forward now, we have over 160 plus active members, 300 plus alumni, and 12 corporate sponsors ranging from McKinsey & Company to Google, Goldman Sachs. And so I think to answer the question about what makes us different is that we really foster a very inclusive and diverse environment where we really champion everybody's like differences and really not go into that toxic competitive environment. And so besides that, we also have an extensive alumni network of over 300 plus alumni who you can make your mentors. And we offer a broad exposure to business that's not just limited to consulting, but that's finance, marketing, project management, etc., you name it. We give that really broad picture of what business has to offer, and we expose all of our members to that. And we help develop leaders through our 4 pillars. 1, familia, family. So we offer mentorship programs from connecting to like Haas people, MBAs, if you're interested in pursuing an MBA, alumni, and much more. And then for professional development, we host weekly workshops with our corporate sponsors on an array of topics, from technical to, resume, cover letter, etc. And then we also offer students the opportunity to join committees, whether it's like you want to learn more about investment or you want to learn more about what marketing is, we have that. And we are going to be hosting a case competition with Accenture this upcoming semester. So be on the lookout for that too, and also stock pitch competition. So we pretty much have it all. And I'll pass it on to Yesenia, who will talk more about what we have to offer.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. So as Mali was saying about our 4 pillars, our 3rd pillar is academics. So we really much value our academics, as we have our VP of Academics that helps our members with their schedules, so that we have a lot of pre-Haas students that are obviously interested in joining Haas. So she's the one that kind of guides them through the best classes to take in terms of that. We also have a test bank. So essentially, for those that don't know what a test bank is, it's just like tests that all our members have taken, and we accumulated them all into one resource. And then we also have community service. So community service looks a little bit different this semester, given that we're all like online. So what we're doing is that we are being a resource to high school students. So we have a college app mentorship program where we essentially are paired with a high school student and we help them with their college applications. And in terms of our fall recruitment timeline, this is essentially to join one of our committees. It's really not competitive as long as you're passionate and you're willing to learn more about an area, let it be marketing, investment, finance, make sure to apply. We have kickoff on Wednesday, so there's a QR code right there if you want to join us, and then meet the board. You can talk to us individually on the 4th, and then committee apps are due on the 6th, and then committee decisions are released on the 12th. So please check us out if you want to become a member. There is our QR code right there. And you do not have to be Latinx to join, so everyone is welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to BCG.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming out. I think it's a little bit difficult not being able to see you guys face to face at networking sessions, so it's a really great chance to meet you all here. Yeah, let's jump into it. So my name is Aditya. I am a senior here at Berkeley, and I'm studying EAPS, and this is my 7th semester in BCG. This semester, I'm super excited to be serving as the president, and I'm really excited to share a little bit about who we are. The first thing you got to know is that Valley Consulting Group is focus on strategy consulting for companies here in the Bay Area as well as beyond throughout the US. And I think we've done a lot of technology projects in the past, and what's really cool about that is as technology expands and the intersection of business and technology hits almost every different industry, this gives you a really, really great chance to explore a variety of different fields and learn as much as possible so that you can make the best decision about your future steps. And so it's a great chance for you to explore and find a variety of different projects. And for example, my first project was with the UI UX research team on Google Maps. And we're trying to figure out the best way for them to integrate Waze and Google Maps, which they had just bought at the time. And my second project was working with Microsoft on a CSR project, trying to figure out how to best put their money towards a project for reducing recidivism in the SF Bay Area due to various different reasons that might have been attributed to tech. So a very interesting opportunity to be able to explore a variety of different fields. Yeah, and touching on socials a little bit, if you scroll down and you have the PowerPoint open, we have a couple of our pictures open on the bottom, and do a lot of different things. We do Korean barbecue late at night, kayaking, bowling, impromptu random hikes, but also a lot of different planned socials, including retreats and whatnot. And this semester, I think not a lot of clubs will be having retreats because it's a little difficult, but definitely excited to do that with you all as soon as we get back to a normal situation. Touching on careers really quickly, like a lot of different companies, a lot of different clubs, we've sent people to a variety of different places for not only internships, but also full-time. So McKinsey and Deloitte, if you're interested in consulting, Facebook, Google, Uber, a lot of different companies in the tech space, as well as a lot of different startups, including one called Verkada, which is particularly interesting. But yeah, a lot of different career opportunities. And this draws us onto what I think is probably the biggest strength of BCG. Being a really small club, our development program is particularly strong because we can spend a lot of time on each member. And so when we first start out with new consultants, we have a 10 to 14-week training program where you get not only the basics of consulting, but also how to build your resume, how to build your LinkedIn and your network, how to apply for jobs, how to take interviews. And that process doesn't just end in your first semester. Continually, alumni and older members are hosting events. Like just yesterday, we had an event on practicing PM interviews. And that kind of process goes on throughout the year, but also especially with a heavy focus on recruiting season. So it helps us a lot in trying to find the best opportunities for ourselves. Yeah, and I'd love to move on now to talk a little bit about how you can show yourself in the best light possible. First is definitely showing us your passion for consulting. So we have a free-form cover letter and a covered video, which is new this semester. And we're really looking for an opportunity to learn what you're about and why you want to do consulting. A lot of our work is driven by our members. And what's interesting is, one of our members was really into sneakers. And so through his passion, he was able to drive us to sourcing a couple of clients like Nike, particularly in the fashion space. But that also moved us on to a venture that spun out of, sorry. Oh, I thought I heard something. That also drew us to his venture that spun out of our development program, which is a hedge fund for trading sneakers and different hype apparel, which I think is really cool. So it's really, really important for you to show us what is your passion, what your interests are. I also wanted to mention that we have coffee chats and networking that are both happening right now. Coffee chats are almost done with signups, so please grab a spot if possible. But the networking sessions are also a great chance for us to get to know you on a one-on-one basis. We have a kind of speed dating format, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, we're really looking forward to get to knowing you face on face. Yeah, so finally, I'll touch on our timeline. We have networking sessions going on throughout the next week, but we also have an info session on Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. They'll be on Facebook Live, so it'll be maybe a little bit easier for you guys to join, and then they'll be followed immediately by a networking session right after on Zoom for you to meet all of us. And finally, our application is due on Friday at 11:59, so definitely apply. It's a pretty easy application, and we're looking forward to getting to know all of you. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you so much. And next is my organization, Venture Strategy Solutions, Samir.
Awesome, thanks, Rithik. So hi everyone, my name is Samir and I'm a senior studying IEOR in business. And I'm currently the president of Venture. So to quickly summarize Venture, I think our mission statement really says all that we do. So I'll read it for everyone. So our mission is to empower the entrepreneurial spirit through innovative, impactful, and relevant work, and to build a lifelong community of trailblazers, friends, and colleagues. And that really, I think, captures the two big pieces of our club, which is the professional and the personal side. So to talk a little bit about the professional side, we work exclusively with startups, and we usually aim for startup clients that are big enough that you know who they are, but small enough that we can have a really appreciable impact. And something that I think really sets venture apart from a lot of orgs is that we get to work with very, very high level executives because we're working with very small companies. So I can give an example. So if you see that little F in the first row of the clients, that's Figma, which is actually a unicorn company now that's doing a UI UX design. And what we did a year and a half ago is we actually advised them on their 5-year strategy for their core product. And so we got to do a lot of really cool work for them and got to do a lot of different market sizing as well as product analysis. And so that's the kind of work that you get to do with venture. And it was really exciting for that project, especially because we got to see our recommendations implemented like 2 weeks after we recommended them. So moving on to the other side, which is the personal side, we're a very big social environment and we're really big into peer mentorship. So there's a lot of development, member-to-member development, teaching, and obviously lots of fun times, fun retreats, and fun socials. So the next piece that I also want to talk about was sort of, again, going in the theme of what makes us different and also going a little bit towards the application process. So we talked a little bit earlier about like, how can you sort of stand out in our application process? And I think like that really starts and ends with our core values, which are at the top right of the screen. The entrepreneurial spirit is this willingness to always tinker and always try and build new things. Going the extra mile is having a very deep work ethic and a really strong tendency to always give it your all. Interesting and interested is owning who you are and owning your background and wanting to apply yourself to new problems. Being community oriented is about, are you always thinking about the people around you or are you always thinking about yourself? And then the last piece is unapologetically ourselves. And I think that this one's really important, which is we want people who are really interested in chasing their weird passions and their weird interests. At least for me, like I have a lot of very quirky interests and I feel like I was actually very much empowered to pursue them more by joining this club. So with that, I'm gonna move to the next slide where we're gonna talk a little bit about our timeline. So the first event is something that we've done now for 4 semesters, which is Women of Venture. And this is for female identifying applicants. And what we usually do is we have our female alumni and female members of the club come and talk about being a woman in the business community and some of the challenges they face. And it's not intended to be really a recruiting event, but it's actually intended to be more like a conversation on how people can grow and just get better. Then we're going to be having 2 info sessions. One is going to be recorded and it's intentionally put in the morning for people in Asia and in Europe. And then we're going to be having a case workshop where we're going to have 2 of our very experienced consultants, myself included, walking through how to prep for case interviews. And then we'll be having our applications due next Friday. So thank you to everyone for coming on this call and supporting this club endeavor. And thank you to all the clubs for joining. Hope to see you apply soon. Definitely check out our social media and use the QR code for our Loop chat. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll wrap it up with Voyager.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Neha, and I'm currently the External Vice President for Voyager, and we also have our President, Jake, on the call here today. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Voyager and help you guys understand a little bit more about what we do and who we are. So at a high level, we focus on providing strategy services to big Fortune 500 clients. We follow a pretty industry agnostic approach and have done projects across various sectors in the past, including travel, retail, technology, and nonprofits. I would say it's a pretty big claim to say a bunch of college kids can help these big name companies, but clients continuously come back to us semester after semester for more projects and also love to fly us out to their headquarters for our final deliverables because they really enjoy the work that we do for them. Our consultants have been flown out to Las Vegas, Chicago, and Vancouver, just to name a few, and it's always really fun exploring these new cities with your friends. So the professional experiences we gain from our projects we use to guide our professional aspirations. Working with these big companies such as Adidas, United, and Subway has equipped our consultants with the business background that they need to pursue a variety of careers, whether it's in consulting, in tech, or banking, at companies such as Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, Bain, Facebook, Apple, and more. I think what makes Voyager so fun and our members so motivated is that we're a really close community of friends that loves hanging out together in addition to working together professionally. I can personally say on behalf of the club that we've met some of our best friends through Voyager and emphasize doing different social outings, such as our semesterly trip to Napa, hikes, dinners, banquets, retreats. and spring break trips. So Rithik, if you could go to the next slide, I'll pass it over to Jake to discuss a little bit about our recruitment timeline.
Sounds great. Thank you, Neha. Unfortunately, I don't have one of these cool virtual club backgrounds, so I got to get on that. But really excited to be here, and thanks for joining us tonight. I second everything that Neha said. And I think really just to drive home what she was mentioning is really the commitment that we have to our consultants. I actually live with 2 other Voyager members, and they've become my best friends over these years, and we really spend a lot of time helping each other out, both professionally and socially. And to this day, I'm still talking to alumni who graduated over 3 years ago who are still willing to help out whenever they can. So now kind of talking about how you guys can join. We have a lot of different events, obviously being online, very different than they usually are, but with the main goal being that we're able to get to know you, and also, vice versa, you getting to know us. We have our first info session on the 31st, as well as the second one on the 1st of September. Make sure to come to that just to kind of get a more in-depth overview of what Neha just outlined. And then a case workshop as well. I know that the application process can seem really intimidating, and I certainly did not know what a case interview was my freshman year. So take advantage of our case workshop and any other case workshop for that matter that the other clubs are offering in their time. And then lastly, what you really don't want to miss is the application deadline on the 4th. Super easy, simple application drop. Drop your resume and then a quick short answer question that it shouldn't be too stressful at all. And through this process, feel free to reach out to us on our Facebook or Instagram if you have any specific questions. If there's anything, any specific advice that I have for anyone that's looking to join Voyager, I really think it is to stay true to yourself. I know, there's no need to create some story about how you want to save the world through consulting. If you do, that's great. If that's your passion, that's phenomenal. But it's totally okay to not really know, what exactly consulting is and not really sure how that fits into your professional future. We really want to get to know you and hope that you stay true to that throughout the process. And it really shouldn't be something stressful at all. So thanks again for your time, and looking forward to seeing everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So that was the kind of intro to every organization. So now what we're going to do is you guys can open up this link. It'll open to a spreadsheet, and you'll see all the Zoom links for all the orgs present. Please join whichever one you guys want, ask questions. I know Venture is going to be open for about 20 minutes. But also, every org, feel free to tell your attendees how long you guys are going to stay. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to end the recording now.